Okay, my friends, today we are going to be learning about literal equations. So you have a note sheet and you are going to be filling this out with me and filling in the blanks on your notes. So first we're going to fill in a literal equation. Typically is only letters or variables. Because we're big kids and we say variables. So you're going to think of the formulas that are used in math. So we're talking about math and science because you have to be able to rearrange them for math and science. So some formulas are like area is what? Length times width. Okay, so we're just going to look at formulas that are all variables or letters. So it says solving literal equations is just like solving a regular equation. Except you are not eliminating or simplifying. So you're not eliminating or simplifying any numbers. You are just isolating the given variable. So when you're isolating the given variable, you're basically just rearranging the equation. So look at your little first example equation right here. It says solve d equals r times t. So this actually means distance equals rate times time. So there's an imaginary dot that's in between there. That means that you are multiplying. So right now it's solved for d, okay, because d is by itself. You know it's solved for d, okay. What you want to do is you want to solve for r. So whatever you are trying to solve for, I want you to circle. So you're going to circle r because that's what you're going to get by itself. So if you're circling r, that means you're going to move t. So you're going to move t to the other side. So all you are doing is if you are trying to move t, you're multiplying. So the opposite of multiplying would be dividing. So this would be I'm going to rewrite it over here. So if we're trying to get this by itself, right, that means that we're going to divide by t. Because that's the opposite of multiplying. So that's a division symbol. You normally don't do it like that. You normally just like put it underneath here. Okay. The reason that we do this is because some of the problems that they give you tell you to solve for distance. Like if I wanted to figure out what the distance equals, then I would want d by itself. If I want to figure out what the rate equals, then I would have r by itself. If I wanted to find out the time, I would have t by itself. So this is all you're doing because r is by itself now. So you're going to put in this little blank, D divided by T equals R. All right, we're going to try a couple more. So the next one says solve x equals y divided by z, and you're going to solve for y. So that means you want to get y by itself. So I'm going to circle the variable I want to get by itself, and then I have to see what's happening to it. So if it's being divided by z, the opposite of being divided, good job, be multiplied. So you're going to multiply it, but you have to remember to do it on both sides. So this is going to be times z and times z. And you don't have to write like an x, because that's not going to make that look the way it should. So put zx equals y, because it's just understood if the letters are close together that there's a multiplication sign right there. And you're not actually multiplying anything, you're just rearranging. Okay. All right, this one's a little bit harder. This says solve u equals kx plus yx, and you're going to solve for x. So if you're solving for x, right, how many x's? You have one x, then you have 2x. So what we're going to do is we are going to get rid of both of these. So you can get rid of the k and this y by dividing both of them, because you're multiplying the k times the x, you're multiplying the y times the x. So you can divide by the k plus y, and then you can do that over here too. So you're dividing by k plus y on both sides. So the reason that we did that is because now that right here, now you have the x on the outside. Okay, so if the x is on the outside, it's basically the opposite of distributing. So you have x and then the k and then x and then the y. So like I basically put it back, I undistributed it. So I'm just going to write x and then times k plus y. I'm just going to show everybody that, look, this is what it ends up being whenever I distribute. So that ends up being x times k, so kx, and then y times x, which is yx. And this is what we originally got over here. The reason that I'm taking out the x is because the x goes to both of these, right? So that's why I took the x out. So the x goes to both, so I can take the x out, right? Because then I can easily see that I can divide by x to get the x on the other side. Okay, so once you divide by x, then you have the u, and then what we divided by, the k and the y. Originally we divided by k plus y. So it's u divided by k plus y. And that will give you your isolated variable. So you don't have any numbers. They're all just variables. So then you always want to make sure that you circle what you're trying to solve for and figure out what operation is being done to that letter that you're trying to solve for, and then rearrange the equation doing the inverse operations. So you guys are going to be responsible for doing the back of that sheet today. So if you have any questions, please let me know.
Oh no.